All right, shifting to somewhat different ground with the last question in this group. Please say something about the centripetal aspects of communities around the same centre. How a community housing cooperative fits into the pattern of the new society, because this has aspects of both the co-op and community. So centripetal aspects of communities around the same centre. I think most of you are acquainted with the distinction between a centrifugal force or tendency and a centripetal one. A centrifugal one goes from the centre outwards, and a centripetal one goes from outwards in. So presumably the centripetal aspects of communities are the aspects which cause the community or communities to draw in upon themselves. Because, after all, you're living in a community with other people. And yes, you're very much occupied with one another. You're very much occupied with your life together, the way in which you relate. This is necessary, this is positive, this is healthy. But what about the centre nearby? The question seems to envisage a number of communities sort of surrounding a centre. Well, it's up to you, it's up to the community, the members of the community. You may choose to be involved with the activities of that centre and contribute members to the running of that centre and supporting classes, or you may not. It's up to you. You may decide that at one stage of your existence, for the sake of the members of the community life is more important and more to be stressed. At another time you might feel that the community is getting a bit too self-centred, so to speak, and needs to take an active part in the activities of the nearest centre. It's so that a balance needs to be maintained, that you mustn't become too centripetal, otherwise you sort of forget about the larger movement of which you're a part. You mustn't become too centrifugal, otherwise you cease to have a community life at all. So be aware of both tendencies and try to hold them in balance in the long run, even though at a specific period one may predominate, or it may be desirable that one should predominate. More perhaps than that one can't say. So what about the community housing cooperative? How does that fit into the pattern? It's not really a question of fitting into the pattern. It's not that when something new arises or develops, it's got to fit into the old pattern. No. The old pattern has also got to be modified. There's that too. So enlarge the old pattern to accommodate the new development. So here, as the questioner rightly says, a housing cooperative has aspects of both the co-op and the community. So one could treat that as a new development. Usually we speak in terms of the centre, the community, and the co-op. But a housing cooperative, in some ways, partakes of the nature of both. It's like the hero, he's part God and he's part man. So I don't think there's really a problem here. Let the overall pattern be sufficiently elastic to accommodate this kind of new development.